All right, today is Sunday, May 13th, and it so happens to be Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day, Mom.
Thank you.
I am the daughter of Darcie Pearson. I'm Mackenzie, and there are two other daughters here with us, one behind camera and one that is sitting with a baby in her belly, ready to go into labor. So there's Kelsey, and do you want to speak?
Hi.
And then Corbin behind camera, and she was chewing, so she doesn't want to speak. We're currently sitting at Mom's house in St. Charles, and today we're doing an interview of Darcie Pearson's life so that we're able to show this to our children and to our children's children, and so on. Alright, so we're going to begin by you telling us your name from when you were born.
My born name is Darcie Lee Hawkinson, and I had that name up until July 14th when I married your father. In 1984 it became Carlson, and then
Pearson would be...
Pearson is the current name that I have now.
And that...
And they all ended with S-O-N, so
They're all
Son
sons.
has been my last three last names.
And what's your age?
Yeah, I know. My age currently right now is 50.
4.
Yeah, 4.
Right?
I don't know.
I think you turned
54.
You could do the math.
Yeah.
Okay. Does your name have any special meaning? Or do you have any nicknames? Or how did Grandma think of your
I
name?
never had a nickname. Sometimes people call me Darce, but never no nickname.
Do you know how Grandma and Grandpa named you? No idea.
No idea. She was gonna name
Who
me
calls you
Rock.
Darcella? Or is that kind of a
That
joke?
came from Spring Valley golf course guys.
Darcella.
And that
I like
kinda-
Darcella.
Yeah, stuck. But
And now you have Grandma Darcie,
yes.
even though it's not a nickname.
Yeah.
Okay, and so what are the names of your grandparents, parents, and siblings? So let's start with your parents.
My parents are Robert and Marlene. Do I say middle name?
Yeah.
Robert Wayne Hawkinson, Marlene May Miller.
Oh yeah,
But
Miller
then
would be.
married Dad, and they're both Hawkinson. And then my dad's parents are Melvin and Grace Hawkinson. I don't know the middle name.
I thought Grandma told me.
Yeah, I don't remember. And then Kelsey would know because she has the family tree. And then my
Mhm.
mom's parents are Clayton and Amelia Miller.
Okay. And you knew all your grandparents?
Yes.
You
No. I don't remember.
You don't
Grandma
remember, but they were
Hawkinson.
all alive.
Oh yeah, Grandma Hawkinson and Clayton and Amelia Miller. My mom's mom and dad. Yep,
I
knew
remember
them.
Amelia.
I was too young when Melvin died.
I remember Amelia and Grace. Yeah.
Who are
Okay.
your siblings?
Oh yeah, your siblings.
My siblings are Randy, Deb, and Rick.
And they all like to drink Bud Light,
For the
which
most
is
part.
why I'm drinking during
Yeah.
this interview.
Are you close with your brothers and sisters?
I feel I'm very close. Yep. That's the one bond that my parents always made sure of. Even though I was 8 years apart, they were always there for me, and we were always tight. Even though they were older, they were real protective.
How far
of me.
apart are you from all of them?
She just said 8 years.
Oh, you did? Okay.
8 from Deb, 6 from Rick, and then 9 from Randy, so.
Okay. When and where were you born?
I was born February 8th, 1964 in Charles City, Iowa, I think at Cedar Valley Hospital.
Cedar Valley. How big was the town when you were born? Do you remember?
Population, very small town, but
I'm not sure.
you'd have to Google that.
Love it. Okay. Next one. What did you do for fun as a child? And you can read off
Okay.
what you wrote. She put a lot of time and effort into this, and she wrote a lot of it down, and both of us are ones who like to write.
I know.
And we're not as good at on the spot, so she might read some of your answers.
Yeah. As a child, for fun, I did a lot of cartwheels. I was always doing gymnastics. Everywhere we went, if we were walking or whatever, I would just flip everywhere. Just loved cartwheels. I played a lot of Barbies, and I always had a camera on me. Those little 110 ones or whatever. I always took pictures. I'd either find a rock and I'd put it somewhere and take a picture of it because I just loved taking pictures. Board games, cards, the playground, which we were at today.
Mm-hmm.
Amusement parks. I loved coloring and artistic projects.
Yeah. You still love all that today.
Yeah.
Except cartwheels, probably.
Right.
Okay, what did your family do together when you were young?
I would say top would be boating on the St. Croix River. We would all gather up, and I remember I don't know what age I was, maybe 9, and my parents couldn't afford barely the gas in the truck and the boat, but they would always stop at Kentucky Fried Chicken.
Oh, yeah.
Get 1 bucket of chicken, and no matter what, if I cleaned the boat and got it, helped my dad, he said I could always go to the grocery store and pick out a watermelon. I never picked up the watermelon. Dad did. But then the rule was when we got to the island, I had to take it from the boat. No, they handed it to me off the boat, and I had to carry it all the way up where we were sitting. Yeah, otherwise I couldn't get any watermelon. But then I loved those watermelons were long and big. And they have pictures of me just, oh, I can't drop this watermelon. And then my brothers would dig a hole, or my dad, and that's how the watermelon would get chilled in the water because the river's so cold in the sand.
When you like went on the beach and stuff.
Yep. Yep.
Anything else that you remember doing together?
I might have wrote no, I mean that's just one that really stands out for me.
Okay. Where did you grow up and where have you lived?
Oh my gosh. Okay. I lived in so many places I can't remember them all. My parents moved about approximately 69 times. Most of my childhood years I spent would be in Coon Rapids, New Brighton, Andover, and some places that I have lived there were. Did I say that wrong?
That's okay.
Coon Rapids, many moves like within the city of Coon Rapids and Anoka. So
you've been in several houses.
Not
just several cities.
Andover, Anoka, New Brighton, Roseville, Brandon, Florida, Seffner, Florida, Bradenton, Florida, Tampa, Florida, Spring Valley, St. Charles, Charles City, Mason City, Mounds View, Mora, St. Paul, Blaine. I can't name them all. Because when I was younger, I just know we lived in different states.
Where was your favorite place?
My favorite place to live?
That wasn't one of the questions.
I would say I really loved Florida. I love Florida, but I have to say Andover because that's where our whole family started, and we were all together, and a lot of friends were from there.
Okay. Speaking of friends, what were some of your friends growing up, or who were they, sorry? Who were some of your friends?
I actually, because we moved so many times, I had to get new friends, and I didn't have a problem making friends. It was hard. It's hard moving and going, I have to meet a new friend, and you don't know where you're. My mom and dad always put us in a very, very good neighborhood. Even though they couldn't afford it, we were always in a decent surroundings and safe environment, and not, slummy or whatever. So I guess Tammy Arvinson would be, she's Peterson now. I just connected her on Facebook recently.
I don't remember that one.
Yeah, nobody would, and that's when Mom and Dad had the bar, and we lived in Coon Rapids, and we would play Barbies on my ping pong table and read comic books, but that was our fun back then. I remember my brother being in the military. Robin Montague, she was an elementary friend, and her and I were track. We were in sports together, and we were always competitive, but kind of best friends there. Kelly Larson, which is Kelly Yoakum, and I think you all remember her. Heidi, of course, Nader, and is Johnson now. Pam and Sherry Kunza, Roxanne, Jill, Damon Lawson, Dave Bell, and Victoria, and Tim Carlson. We all
That was like
hung
your
out
group
together. That was, yeah.
Okay. What were the names of the schools you attended? Which there were a lot, I'm sure, since you've moved a lot, but the main ones I would say that you remember.
Mississippi, Morris By, Fred Moore, New Brighton, Coon Rapids Junior High, and then I went back to Blaine, and then went back to Coon Rapids. There are more, but I don't remember them all.
But you graduated
That's my
from
mom. Graduated from Blaine.
From Blaine.
Our house was literally in Andover. The kitchen was in Andover. My bedroom was in Coon Rapids. And I went to Blaine High
split.
School. But we had the choice to drive. If we wanted to drive, we didn't have to take no bus.
Okay, so speaking of getting to school, how did you get there? From elementary
We walked.
to middle to high school.
We walked. And
How far was it? How long of a walk was
a
it?
mile, maybe? Yeah, and then one I had my backyard, which was really nice because I just go right out my backyard and school was there. Most of them were walking. Then junior high, because I was in Andover, we had to take the bus to Anoka. And then in high school, my dad and mom,
Drove you?
no, they got me a car. Or
What
truck.
car?
I got a truck. King Cab extended.
King
Cab Chevy with a full box.
How was that parking?
It was a challenge, but it was, yeah, coming into high school, it's my big truck. It was a big monster, but it
Probably what made you a good driver.
had to, yeah, definitely
Okay.
defensive.
Remember?
So, what was school like growing up for you? Such as, there are a few questions.
I guess school was either very hard or very easy for me. I had to adapt to what was going on. Like, I'd get pulled at half of a year, and I'd either really know it, and I'd be like, I'm bored, and then I'd get in trouble, or I'd get sent down to the principal's office because I knew it all, because I had already learned it in my other school. Or I'd be so completely lost that I would get a little rebellious, maybe, naughty, again, because I was like, I don't get it, and then I'd fall behind, and then I'd just really get angry because you have to catch up. And then I had both parents that worked so much that nobody was there, and my siblings all like were in sports or
To
the
help with
struggle.
homework and stuff.
It was
Is there anything else in there that you wanted to add?
growing up. I remember my 5th grade teacher, Mrs. Arnold. It was a tornado that day, a warning. My brother always kind of watched over me, Rick. And she had called Rick and said, go get her. And back then you just needed a note or call. And he went in there and he came to my 5th grade. He saw me in the room, and me and Armis Koskinen, who was another kid of mine, we always got picked on by the teacher. And she would always hit me. She'd just go tap me with a long ruler on my head and say, quit being so stupid, Darcie. Quit being so stupid. Because I would either not answer the question, or I would be like, I didn't know it.
With a
And so-
ruler?
yeah, with a long ruler. And just nab me. And Armis too.
Wow.
So I'm like, sometimes I wanted to grab the ruler, and sometimes I did. Because it was, pissed me off. But again, you're a kid and they're an adult, and you have to respect your teachers. But I would say she did that daily to me. And
I love that.
it was called homeroom. She was your main teacher. And then when this tornado happened, Rick came to the door, and I remember looking up and seeing my brother, and I'm like, I was so happy. But we didn't really know as kids there was going to be bad weather. And he goes, I'm taking Darcie my sister out, and she goes, "You're not taking her out," and he goes, "Yeah, I am." And then that's when the announcement came that, you know, everybody's leaving early or whatever, and so he came and took me out, and
he could drive at that time?
he saw her hit me on the head, and he was like, "Oh, hell no, that's not happening," and he went and grabbed me right out of there, and Armis just sat there saying, "Can I come?" Because he knew he was going to get the ruler to the head. Yeah, then we went home, and my mom and dad went to the principal's office, and they ended that real quick. In fact, she had to take a leave of absence because she did it to us, and then
to just mainly you two?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah, so that was a memory in school I will never forget. But I learned from it.
Mm-hmm.
I learned from it because I would never, ever do that to anybody.
Yeah. Okay. What were your favorite subjects and your least favorite subjects?
My favorite, and I don't know if these are subjects, but art. I loved art.
That's, yeah, that's what I would say.
Geometry with maps. I
Geography?
Geography.
Yeah.
Yeah. You helped me say that today because I'm like, what?
Which one?
I loved biology, but I was not good at math, but I liked it. Gym, is that a subject?
I always considered
I
it.
think it is.
Gym and lunch.
Yeah. But they had, we had home economics, and I loved sewing, and we had like design classes and photography classes, so we had all kinds of, I loved them. And I loved the writing class, the journal class. Hated math. I never had any math over basic math. I've never had geometry, I've never had fractions, none of that. Ever. Never had any of that in my high school. Because I got put in a special class for that. And then I did not like, because I'm not good at grammar and spelling. English. But I liked history. But that's it.
Okay. Did you have a particularly impactful teacher?
I did.
Which grade?
Her name was in 10th grade. And our high school went from 1 to 5, and then we went to junior high, which was 7th through 9th. And then our high school was 10th through 12th.
Okay.
And her name was Candy Nelson. And I struggled. I struggled in junior high with comprehension. And she finally just saw that, because I was really kind of bubbly and fun, and I hung out with every sort of kids in high school. And back then they didn't use the proper wording for somebody that had special
needs.
Everybody's special in their own way, but back then, I don't know if I should say it, but they called them retards.
Wow.
And so then I thought I was going to the retard room, and I just was always, I'd never liked that word, and I hate when people use it now, because it's just the way it comes across, and they're special.
And so she kind of
she found out, and she did some testing on me, and she said, I'm better at oral visual learner than I am
reading and comprehending.
Yeah, and so I had every test read to me in high school. I was having D's all the time because I couldn't take the tests. Everything else was A, B, but my tests were always a fail. They couldn't understand, and finally she saw that. So I got to have tests read to me, and I passed them all, and that's how I got decent grades. Besides your father, when we started dating, he literally got me through high school. For that reason.
Do you know how many you graduated with?
824.
So, did everyone go to school and everyone graduate, or was there some that did not?
We had 3 deaths. I think 3 or 4 deaths.
Wow.
Yeah. One was in a car accident, and 3 of them were suicides. Yeah. And
did anyone not graduate because of grades, or did mostly everybody?
They got held back, but they ended up graduating. Back then, you just have to stay for another year?
Yep. Okay.
You asked me something else.
What year did you graduate?
1982, but I had the opportunity because my grades got up because the help of Candy Nelson, and I wish I could see her to this day and thank her, and your dad. I wouldn't have been able to do it, but I graduated in 1982 in January with
Yeah, did you see how many?
My girlfriends. 13 of us graduated early, but we had to qualify to do that. You couldn't just graduate early.
Did you say how many were you graduated with? I forgot if you
824.
Okay, you did say that.
And I think there was 13 of us that got to graduate early. Okay. And I was kind of not proud, but we all wanted to get to our education. Here they do it where you get out of school and get to go to college,
yeah.
And we didn't have that. So yeah, and then I went, and that's when I continued to. I graduated, and then I went right away to cosmetology school.
I think we'll talk about that.
Okay.
Or maybe
talk too much, too fast, too long.
No, it's fine. I think
It's perfect.
Yeah, can you talk about what you did after high school? I don't think I have that down anywhere.
What did I do? I basically, after I graduated, I went back in June to graduate with my class, and then I started my cosmetology school right after in January. I think February 14th or 13th I started Cosmo School, I also worked, and I got a job at IDS, American Express, the tallest building in Minneapolis.
Yeah, I was going to say.
And I worked there. Your dad would drop me off, and then I would go right from there. He would pick me up, and then he'd drop me off at cosmetology school. And I did that for 6-8 months.
You graduated from it?
No, I never graduated from it. Back then you needed not a diploma, but you needed a certification.
Mm-hmm.
And, I don't know if I can talk about this. So, I don't know if I should, but...
Is it on the way to school?
Yeah, on the way to my car.
I think you should.
There was one time where that week he was out of town or something, so I drove myself. I had a white Cutlass parked on Hennepin Avenue, and I was in a parking lot about 3 stories up, and it was city towers or something that they were building. It was a mall right there on Main Street, and so parking was weird, and all these construction people were everywhere. And I'll never forget what I wore. I wore a red shirt and I had white painter's pants on, which you probably don't know what those are.
No.
Just white pants with, I don't know, they look like camel pants, but, and I was in a hurry because I cannot be late. You get docked for school, and the school is in Fridley, which is 25 miles away. I got in my car. I didn't get into my car. I went around the corner, and my dad always says, walk with your head up, confident, but always look around you.
Mm-hmm.
And Hennepin Avenue back then was not safe. Not good at all. And there's no security or nothing, and a lot of
African American.
minority, yeah. And there was a group of about 4 or 5 of them. They kind of eyeballed me, and I just kept walking, and pretty soon I'm in a small little circle with them. And they were kind of like hitting on me, kind of
pushing you around,
taunting, yeah. And then I remember slapping my butt, and then the other one, then I'd go over here, and then I'll never forget, because the postman was right across the street, and then I looked up and I saw some of the construction guys, and they were yelling. And then another guy grabbed my pants, my pant loop, and then that's when my books fell. Because I kind of had my books in my bag, and they fell. And then the one guy kicked the books. I can do this word vision by vision. And when he grabbed my pants, because they were loose, his hand went like in my pants. And then they walked me kind of forced me to walk down this little alley, which I thought my door was there to go up to the elevator to go up. And they tried kissing me, and well, they did
Do
throw
something.
themselves on me, and the one guy put his hand in my pants, and
Wow.
yeah. At that moment, 3 or 4 construction guys were screaming down, and then
My goodness.
2 other guys, I don't know how they got down there, but they got down there, and the guys just kind of ran. And I was, honest to God, more worried about my books, because I was kind of at the end of my schooling. I only had like a month
Then you have to give them back.
at the end where I was going to be done.
Hmm.
And I went to an all African American cosmetology school. There was only like 5 of us white people there.
Mm-hmm.
So this just happens to me, and I can tell you, was I crying? Yes. I was a wreck.
Mm-hmm. What did Dad do when he found
And
out?
I'll never
about it?
forget seeing that postman, because he just stared like, what do I do? I'm like, somebody had to have called, because I don't remember part of it either, and I ended up just shaking and getting my keys, because Dad says always carry your keys or always have it in your front pocket. And
Did you get walked to your car by those
I
construction
got
guys?
the guys, the guys walked me to my car, and I don't know if they called the cops. I don't remember that part. I really don't.
Did you guys
I
know
said,
that? in the
I
story?
have to get, I have to get to school.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember trying to get in my car, and this guy's like, let me help you. They were from Coon Rapids, and they said their name, and I just fell right into that guy's arm, and I just started crying. And back then you didn't have cell phones,
Mm-hmm.
so that was a real,
What did Dad do when he found out?
he was gonna find him, my dad and him.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't good.
Were you married at that time when you went to school?
No.
No, you married after. Okay.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
I forgot one other part about your high school though. Do you have a favorite memory from school?
I would say probably watching your dad's basketball games, but that was a really good fun memory.
Okay.
And just the gymnastics and, excuse me.
Oh yeah, what sports were you in? I don't think I have that on here.
I just like to be involved in all the activities, whether it was plays and no matter what, I always wanted to be nice. I was friends with everybody, whether you were popular, smart, ugly, big, small, black, it didn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
I always had friends.
You liked hockey?
You liked hockey?
I thought you said
Watching.
talking.
No, hockey.
Oh, I loved hockey.
Oh, watching it.
Yeah, my old boyfriend, Rob Quick, he was excellent hockey player, and I loved it.
So
Other than being cold.
you were in gymnastics, track,
Yep.
and
Basketball.
Was there a favorite sport?
Gymnastics.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you said that earlier.
Um,
Okay. Anything else about school that you missed? That you wanted to cover?
I don't think so. We got to leave school at our lunch hour and just get in
Oh,
our car and
yeah.
go wherever we wanted, just as long as we were back.
Yeah, I don't think they'd let anyone do that now.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
That's pretty nice. Probably spent a lot of money then. Or did you go home?
I never really ate because we didn't have any money. So I would just go with my friends and have a couple of their fries. But I never really ate because we just didn't have any money. But we had salad bars and we had all that because we were such a big school.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
Good options.
There is one other thing that happened to me in junior high.
Tell it.
Okay.
I don't think I know it.
My girlfriend Heidi, I was playing basketball. We had practice, and then my girlfriend Heidi stayed after because it was Fred Moore Junior High in Anoka, and there was a place called Han's Bakery right next to it. And I think you remember, right? Zion Lutheran Church.
It was right by it?
Yeah.
Oh,
so we, after basketball, were like, we're going to Han's Bakery. And because we got like $3 or something, so we're like, yes. And that was our rowdiest time ever, going to Han's Bakery. So we left after the basketball game and went out the side door. And then I remember the janitor kind of cleaning and saying, hey, you, girls, you can't exit out there. And I remember Heidi said, and he kept yelling at us, and I kept like running. And she goes, I'm going to my locker. And he goes, get back here. And she goes, She said to the janitor. I'm like, oh shoot, we're in trouble. So we freaking went out that door, and usually the alarms would go off, but not these. And we left, and I said, yeah, that was so fun. Oh my God, we got him. Yeah, until the next day. Guess who gets a phone call? My dad. Mr. Hawkinson, can you please come down to the principal's office? So he was there at 8 a.m. and then I got called in. And the principal didn't know us. You think they don't know you, but they really know you. Mm-hmm. He knew me. And after this principal said that this had happened, my dad said, well, he goes, I see that she is at fault, but where does it say it out there that she can't go after hours? So he totally made a thing about that, and I was like...
And then they have to put a sign up and stuff?
They did. They ended up doing it, but I stuck up for Heidi, never put Heidi under the table. My dad stuck up for Heidi, and so did I. Me, on the other hand, got 56 hours of detention. But Heidi didn't.
How much detention have you had?
I had 72 hours of detention in high school.
You remember exact?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Wow.
And 56 in junior high. No lie. 72.
Well, it's okay. We learned
But my
from
dad
those
got me out of
times.
Yeah. My dad got me out of that. I don't know.
Okay. There's nothing else about school. Let's talk about jobs.
Oh, God.
Have you had any jobs? Who did you work for and what did you do?
Okay, I'm going to read this one.
Yeah.
Okay, this is going to be very, 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 probably embarrassing for myself, but I've had many jobs that I can remember and not remember, all of them. Mm-hmm. Age 16 at Walgreens restaurant as a waitress was my very first job.
Walgreens, a restaurant? I've never heard of that.
Well, it was in Northtown Mall in Blaine, I think. Northtown. Yeah. That was a good experience because I learned, really how to work with the public and people, but until this one older lady that came in every flippin' day and ordered her coffee. I never had her in my section, but the one day I did have her, she didn't like her coffee, and then we were busy, and it was breakfast, and she had her damn dog with her, too. You could bring dogs in restaurants. Mm-hmm. And that morning, she was just having a bad day with her coffee, and then I had her, and so I'm like, sure, coffee was hot, and it was cold, and it was too bitter, and it was too black, and it was too this, and I made 4 trips, and finally I said, I can't help you anymore with your coffee. And she goes, wow, I come in here. She was a very wealthy lady, too, and she was known like some popular lady. And I just told her I don't give a flying fart if you don't like your coffee. I go, I'm not serving you any more coffee. I'm busy, and can't you see I have 40 other tables? Like, you just better get, or I'm turning you into your boss. And I'm like, go ahead, enjoy your coffee. And I poured it right on her lap. No. And I got fired. Yeah, the dog licked it off her lap. So I got fired, but in the back room, my boss says that was not okay. And then he said, I go, you just fired me, I'm done. And then he turned around 5 minutes later as I was walking out, he goes, you can't leave. Yeah, I need you. I go, so you're rehiring me? Because this is like my first job ever.
Oh,
so I went back to work, but he put me in another section, and I never got. And everybody was like, yes, so finally somebody got her. I didn't mean to.
I wonder if you burned her legs.
I don't know. I was just like, drink your frickin' coffee.
That's hilarious.
Okay, jobs.
You have more jobs.
House cleaning, printing shop at Post Haste. I did piecework in Roseville. I worked at golf course, bartending, cook, at the club, doing the clubhouse, golf cart sales, liquor store, ad sales, paraprofessional, receptionist at a car dealership, hotels, years of bartending, entrepreneur, merchandising, photography studios, did I say liquor stores? Lighting design, interior design, my church, Zion Lutheran, community ed, tumbling, line dancing, art, carnivals, gymnastics, basketball, soccer, t-ball, volleyball, assisted living, restaurants, event center, catering jobs, babysitting, clothing stores, secret shopper, sold Tupperware, security alarms.
How do you remember
Skincare, Evolve Health, health products, t-shirt and sweatshirt sales, Michael's Retail, certified framer, Anoka County Fair, golf course, I said piecework, making flowers and beaded jewelry, assembling for electronics, Hockey's in Bar, Button Factory, Image Splash, daycare in Florida, Weber and Judd Pharmacy, Marketplace Home Mortgage,
I'm forgetting what.
Lifetime Fitness, Knudsen Mortgage as a loan officer, landscape and nursery place in Ham Lake, house cleaning, IDS Tower, IDS American Express, a mail carrier.
You were?
Yeah, for IDS American Express. The bar, Unique Creations.
Oh yeah, Unique Creations. I don't know if you remember that.
And self-employed with my parents, stamping and craft business, Old Time Saloon, Adams Printing, Spring Valley Paper, Pearson Builders, Inc., American Legion, Patriots Pub, Whitewater Pub. There is more, but I just can't remember them all.
Are those all on your resume?
I don't have a resume. Sorry.
And now it says, what did you do in all those jobs?
Let's just say I've had a little bit of experience. I just don't have, like, a degree in one thing.
Oh, that's
What was
awesome.
your favorite job?
Bartending.
Bartending?
Waitstaff.
Because you like social.
And I loved framing.
And Unique Creations is?
I like that too. That was my mom and dad's business. They had a video bar. And so they sold videos, and then I had a craft business with them, and we did rubber stamping, and I taught classes, and we made crafts.
That was cool. I loved
That was
that.
really fun, and you guys lived in the back room.
Did you?
I remember stamping and stuff.
When you were two?
I know, I was a little older.
It was
I
fun.
loved it. It was upstairs in the garage at Grandma and Grandpa's cabin. All the stuff,
Yeah.
right?
The stuff.
Well, we had the
Stuff was up there.
That was the stuff
All the crafts.
he made.
Part of Unique Creation.
It was. Yeah.
That's what I remember. It was cool.
I volunteered at the church, assisted living, at all the kids' school events, county fair, babysitting.
Did you put
volunteer
schools
at
in
the
there?
MS Walk, Target Center of
Did you put schools in there that you were
The para?
at a para in the same school with all of us at once?
Yeah, I think I do say something about my high school.
Oh, it wasn't. Okay.
I think so.
Oh.
I'm certified in
Yeah.
cosmetology, but then getting back to the cosmetology, I ended up get back to that other question about what happened to me, and the cosmetology I never finished and completed. I had a month left, and I went to school that night, and it just wasn't, I just lost it. I
Mhm.
just couldn't go back because
Just
I had
bad
to face
memories.
what was going on and what had just happened and look at these people and think, how could they do this to me?
Mm-hmm.
And now I have to stand with all of these. I'm not prejudiced, but my dad was, I just didn't finish. That was turmoil for me, and
Just a bad
I
image.
could have went back, and I should have went back, but I didn't. And yeah,
Okay. What do you have for your next question on there?
you said I was certified in cosmetology, framing and matting, photography, lighting, bartending, but no, like, other thing.
Is the next one the price of stuff? Okay.
Mhm.
So, the price of the following items when you were growing up. Gas.
30, I don't know, I think it was like I want to say anywhere from 36 cents to $1.98. For some
gallon.
reason I remember it being all over the board, but
It could have been.
that's per gallon.
Mhm.
That's what I remember.
Candy?
Oh,
On average?
anywhere 10 cents to 35 cents. 35 cents I think was a Snicker bar.
Wow. And now it's, right now,
Probably a buck or two.
it's probably like $1.50.
And it's the same candy.
At least.
And pop?
King size or 202.
35 cents.
And pop is like $1.50 right now.
Yeah.
Loaf of bread.
I don't remember buying bread.
I'm sure it was pretty cheap.
69 cents or something. It was like milk was a buck something. I think eggs were like 60 cents, and I remember stamps, they were 6 cents.
6?
Yeah, because I had a stamp collection.
For 49 cents today.
Yeah.
Okay.
2 different stamps.
Stamps.
Are you talking about this stamp?
No.
Oh no,
stamps.
postage stamp.
Oh,
Sorry.
I
Yeah.
didn't know you had that collection.
So, what do you miss about your childhood?
I miss my parents' bar.
Where all the mice were?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my god, forgot about that. Yeah.
You can tell that story if you want. I don't think that's on here.
Oh,
We're almost halfway done.
playing foosball, cartwheels, front back flips. Oh, these are just some of them. Can I read them?
Mm-hmm.
Most I miss about my childhood is my parents' bar, playing foosball, cartwheels, front and back flips, boating on the St. Croix River with my family, building forts, roller skating, night yard games, kick the can, Annie over, hide and seek, Marco Polo, playing all kinds of board games and cards, sporting events, and time with family. The no fear, not scared attitude, beaches and the Andover crew, my dog Tequila, which was a Doberman pinscher, learning how to make wood crafts with my dad, dancing, and good old classic country music, sewing and quilting, sitting in the red beanbag chair on Saturday mornings with my mom and eating a banana flip, sour cream chips, and a grape pop while watching an afternoon bowling, coloring and Barbies on the entire ping pong table, going to cool places with my brother in his car, my aunt and uncle's farm in St. Charles, Iowa, for the week in the summer, as she made me wear her son's pants for chores. Didn't like that.
In Charles City?
Charles City, yeah. Playing with all the farm animals, hanging out with my cousin Terry Wolf, who's now deceased. We were always climbing trees, and one time we climbed the silo, which is many feet up in the air. One of the dumbest decisions I ever made. It was very dangerous. Going to the local pool in Coon Rapids every single day for 4 months because everybody was gone in my family, so my mom got me a pass, and that's where I went. Comic books, outdoor concerts with Grandma Miller's noodles and potato salad, Grandpa Miller's truck rides to Dairy Queen, and the funny things he said and did. Grandma Hawkinson, her house on the holidays would always have real china and crystal with a beautiful table setting as we said a prayer, and we all ate dinner with family with no cell phones. Grandma Hawkinson's antique clock that would ding every hour on the hour. While sleeping on the couch, we knew what time it was. Even though we didn't get much sleep, we always knew the time. It didn't make much sense, but she always gave me money to run across the street to buy a hamburger and a half-gallon jug of real good old-time root beer at the A&W root beer stand. I maybe got a few french fries if I was a polite girl that day and helped her clean her house. I loved playing tic-tac-toe, going to parades, and getting lots of candy, especially the pumpkin bowl in Anoka. Even though I was an older girl, I would try to get them for our girls. Looking through magazines and tearing out designs of houses and craft projects and keeping them in a folder, thinking it would be a future thing. Praying at the table and just enjoying being a child.
Well, I don't remember half my childhood. It's pretty good. Okay. Did you want to tell the story about the mice?
I can. My mom and dad had their bar, and they had a back room about the size of this where we had the cooler and we kept the beer. And I could only bring ice buckets out every hour for my job. Well, they always had live music Friday and Saturday night. And this back room was not clean by any means. It had one little twin mattress on the concrete floor and just junk and backroom stuff. And the Doberman was back there. Tequila was back there with me. And one night, I couldn't go out there until after 8 o'clock. Yeah, I could only do ice till then, and then I had to be in that back room all night long. We didn't have iPads. I didn't have a TV or nothing. That's why my dog could literally ride on a skateboard. He could play tennis. He could catch a ball. He could drive a car. I taught him every trick in the book because I just had my dog.
Mm-hmm.
And I had a color book or whatever. And, one night I think they left for the restaurant or something in the middle of the night. And then they came back. I don't remember how it happened, but I fell asleep. And when the lights came on, I kept feeling stuff on me, and I would just be like, and it was funny because my sister goes, "You stink." And I'm like, well, probably because, and she always made me feel bad because I kind of had stink on me. I smelled. I'm like, and I think Mom said that to her, and I'm like, I don't know, but I just itch all the time. And then the one time they turned on the lights, and the frickin' mice ran all over. They were all over. They were in the mattress living, and they were all over me, pissing on me, and whatever else. And I remember Teak always going crazy in the middle of the night, but he would lay right next to me. And so that was my experience with mice, and that's why I absolutely hate mice. And if anybody ever scares me with mice, watch out, because it won't be good. I woke up to at least 100 mice. It was
You
terrible.
slept in that room every night?
Every night.
You slept in the back room?
Well, they had their bar. Well, I was at their bar. Yeah, and it was usually on Friday and Saturday night. And I had a little peephole that I could see people out on the dance floor through this furnace room, and mice it was terrible. And I hate them. Because I remember them, like, being in my hair, and yeah, it was not a good experience. That's why I said if anybody ever scares me with mice, they won't live.
Tell us, or we know.
You gonna switch gears?
What?
You gonna switch
Yeah,
gears?
if you could change one thing about the world today, what would it be?
Violence. And people behind guns that kill people. The cost of college, I would like to change that.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to have no tax in Minnesota. Of course, all terminal diseases, just die of old age. That's what I would really like.
Mm-hmm.
Hurt and pain from any child suffering. Judging humans, mean people, peer pressure. I'd like a better food system. Democrats and Republicans, they can go bye-bye. I just think, I don't know.
Just everyone love
Bees.
everyone.
I wish bees didn't.
You just
Bees
wish
to
bees
not
weren't
sting.
in the world.
And
Because you're allergic.
yeah, I would like to change the swelling in my legs.
Okay, those are good. Okay, this one might be a long one.
I know.
Tell us about any major injuries, illnesses, or any life-threatening moments. So do you want to start from when you were little, when you drowned?
I can talk a little bit about that. I went to the Apple River. My mom and dad said no, and I went anyway, because at that age, you're in 10th grade, you think you
Fearless.
can just, yeah, you're fearless. And we went to the Apple River, and it was in May. As a matter of fact, it was this weekend in May, and it's cold, and it's high. We didn't care. Jody and Drew and Rob and I went, and we were gonna camp out after, and they were okay with that, as long as I didn't, get in the water. And I did anyway, but we just took our tubes, and they've been drinking. I didn't drink at all. When you're in sports, you don't do that. You just don't do it. You're 21. And even my mom and dad owning a bar, I didn't drink. It was weird.
Me either.
I just...
But now I am.
So, Drew, we got to the kind of the end. You girls have been on the Apple River, right? You haven't been on the Apple River?
Mm-mm.
Okay, well, it just lines
It's
and
in
lines and
Wisconsin?
lines and lines. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, I just remember getting to the end, and Drew was... And you don't think of it till you're later. You go through it in your head, and you're like, oh, he was, pretending he was drowning. Oh, Jody, come save me. And then he really kind of got caught up in some rapids, and I'm like, oh my God, this is serious, you guys. And then Rob's like, no big deal. I go, he is drowning. And then I paddled as fast as I could to the other side, fighting the current, and then I grabbed like Rob's hand, and he pulled me, and that's where I hit a rock, flipped, and went over to this little area that was like a big rock or something, and then I was going under, and then my tube went, and I went up, down, and all I could see was a path with a guy with long hair, no beard, just long hair, no shirt, cutoffs, and no shoes. And he had one hand in the pocket, and he's just walking. He kept walking, and I'm like, help me, I'm drowning, help me. And then Rob was trying to get out of his tube to come, he was trying to get to me, and then he was getting, and by this time Jody and Drew, I think, were probably at the end to get off, because I remember seeing the bridge. And then I went down, I came back up, and I was fighting. And at one point I just was like, I'm giving up, I can't do it. And I saw white bubbles, just black but white bubbles, and I spoke in the water. My mouth came open, and I said, no, please, I don't want to drown. And I was talking, please help me. Honest to God, nobody will ever believe me, but I popped up, and I got swooshed into this rock, which to this day, it still affects me in my ribs. And I don't know how, but I just was there, and then Rob was there, and someone reached. I don't know who. I was pissed off because this guy didn't help me. But did he? I don't know. I don't know to this day.
Someone grabbed your hand and
He looked
helped you
just
up.
like Jesus, or God, I don't know. It was weird. And then I woke up, and I was in the ambulance, and mouth to mouth or whatever. So
You did go to the and
well, they called it. Yeah, I was already.
did you go to the
called out.
hospital?
Yeah.
too?
Yeah.
Huh. Well,
Mom and Dad were pretty pissed at me. But I don't know who gave me them out. I don't remember that at that point at all. I just know I laid and I was on that path.
oh, I don't know what that was.
Yeah.
Sticking out and bothering me.
And then another thing was, the blood clot. I don't know, that's a long,
You can read it if you
it's
want.
so long.
That's okay. How much is the video okay? Charged and everything? We can take a break after this part. Okay.
Several years ago, I blew out my knee by self-inflicting a jump down from a table after taking the last photo of my cousin's and her husband's wedding on the dance floor. That didn't make sense.
It didn't.
I jumped down about 7 feet and landed on my feet, but I saw immediately that my knee busted out to the side. I walked over to a bench as my cousin Jamie Krill said, yeah, you're done for. You blew your knee out, just sit here. And that's when I kind of felt like I was going to pass out. You girls were all there. It hurt so bad. Oh my God. It kind of ruined the night for everybody. Daughters took me up to the room, and at that point we just waited till the next morning. They took me into the emergency room, and meanwhile they said to go home and rest because we can't do any kind of MRI. Right, I think. And then...
Is it too much swelling?
Yeah, too much swelling. And then, did we wait a couple weeks? No, I laid there, and at this point we were separated, and I was living on my own in the townhome with you guys, but I think everybody was just gone or something, I don't remember, but I just said my leg was on fire, drove myself in. I think I finally tried getting a hold of these two, and finally got a hold of you, and then they had said, get over to Mayo?
Yeah.
And
We went in for an appointment for an MRI or a CAT scan, I think it was.
there you go.
Because I had to help you take out all your earrings and everything.
Okay, yep.
Your metal.
And then had this blood clot from my ankle to my hip, or groin, very large, and they said they were going to get 99%. They would get it, Dr. Freeze, and they didn't. So, waking up to that and not really comprehending it, I'm like, no big deal, I'll get through this. 3 years later, still in pain, can hardly get up and down the dang steps, and he says, let's put stents in. Well, I didn't really want to because I didn't know, I wasn't educated on anything, and so I just lived through it. It got worse and worse and worse. Went to another appointment to check on this blood clot while I'm on heparin, getting shots every day, going to Mayo Clinic every other day for Coumadin. Meanwhile, my charge card's going $600, $600, $600. Pretty soon I'm up to $20,000 in medical. That added up, and then driving there every day, and the parking, and walking in, and getting this shot. 3 years later, in between that, went to go get checked, and I went with you there. And we had a kind of a mother-daughter date planned, and Dr. Kostopoulos came to you and said that I gotta go over to the hospital. And I'm like, well, I will, but we planned this day, we're gonna do this. And he says, you go now or you're going the ambulance. So again, another 2 that they found going up to my lung. And they put an intravenous cavia in me. There. To stop those clots. So I finally decided after...
Which put you in intensive
To the
care.
ICU.
I was?
Yeah, you were intensive care.
Was I really?
Yeah, we helped you pee on the bed.
I don't remember that.
We held a bucket for you. Mm-hmm.
I was in intensive care?
Mm-hmm.
See, I don't remember some of that.
For 2 days? 3 days?
Oh my god.
At least.
Yeah, it was in 2010. The year after I graduated.
They told me say prayers and do all that, and that scared me. I mean, they said this is not good.
Mm-hmm.
This is racing fast.
Because they didn't want it to get up to the
Yeah.
brain, the heart.
But if I wouldn't have had that appointment, they wouldn't have seen that, and anything could have happened. But it was very hard to go through that because it really altered my life now. I think twice about doing things that are jumping, and because a clot can reoccur at any time. The clot's still there. It's just old because now I've got stents put in, 4 of them, 2 here and 2 here.
But are they really working right now?
They are working, but there is something going on, so I just have to see if the flow is, working. That's why I have to get checkups.
Because you still aren't doing very well
Until-
with your...
No, and I should be crossing my legs. So that was a very, very scary time.
Didn't you have
I'm thankful for you daughters for being there. 'cause
kidney stones?
I've had kidney stones, I've had shingles. I get strep throat a lot, but
Yeah.
I kind of grew out of that. I have an undersized esophagus, which I've had 6 Heimlich maneuvers, but I haven't had any in I bet 8 years, 10 years. I haven't had.
You had extra bones in your feet?
I have 1
They
extra
had to
bone
get
in my
removed?
right foot. Yeah.
Did you just get the one removed?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, because that.
I have those too. So
Uh,
much fun, aren't they?
yeah, makes it harder.
Okay. Anything else that we're missing on that? Can you guys think of any?
That whole blood clot thing is really long and hard to. I just kind of hold it a little bit.
That's okay. That works.
Cheers.
Yeah. We'll get through this little section and then take a bathroom break.
Okay.
What's your philosophy on life?
To definitely live life to your fullest. Travel. Don't be afraid to share. Give and help others and take vacations. Go on dates and talk about the good old days. Stay positive because someone out there has it way worse. Don't get worked up over the little things. Just because it's planned the way you want it to go, you sometimes need to let it go if it doesn't get done the way you want it to.
Mm-hmm.
Never treat your spouse with humiliation, embarrassment in front of others. Try to do it in your own private setting. Remember that a woman does more percentage than a man. But
Speaking
that
of Mother's Day.
is really our job to do so at a certain point, because
It's just
we all know
instinctual.
it's just a natural thing for a woman to do. And if you have a husband that does 50-50, he ought to wear a throne on his head, because I'd like to meet him. Just accept and go on. It's not worth fighting about. Wish I could have had a situation. I don't know what that meant, but always be humble and kind to everyone, and just, you have to love yourself. And I'm just now learning. I've always not liked myself,
Mm-hmm.
and I've never had confidence in me.
Mm-hmm.
And I have to love myself, and I'm trying to get myself there.
I think bartending helps you with that because
Yeah, you just see all kinds of people and you go, okay, I don't have it near that bad.
Mm-hmm. All right. Do you belong to a church or a religion? How has it affected your life?
I have belonged to the church most of my life. Zion Lutheran, with you girls that got confirmed and baptized there.
In Anoka?
In Anoka, yeah. Now that I am in St. Charles, I am not a member at a church, but I attend as I can or I feel. I will always be a Lutheran, and I just consider myself a Christian. So,
Has it affected your life?
church to me has been something you can always fall back on to know your spiritual belief is there, and I feel prayer. What's on the other side? I don't know. Because believe me, I sat there going, you have to just believe, but I guess practicing your faith is just something you should do, but you don't have to do.
Mm-hmm.
It's everybody's own
choice.
Yeah.
Do you have any major regrets?
Yep. Yep. Not getting my 4-year degree, or any kind of degree. I really wanted to be a counselor. I wish I could have worked as a private investigator, because I'm kind of fucking good at it.
Children will watch us when they're older, don't worry.
Okay.
It's fine. Brecken will watch it till he's older.
In the nursing field, taking care of like trauma pediatrics, I've always just felt like in the back of my head, I wish I would have done that. I wish I would have continued my cosmetology path and probably got into some skin and healthcare stuff that way. I regret going through a divorce.
You don't have to cry. You know we're all emotional, besides Corbin. You can cry.
Just kind of
Take a drink.
take a drink. Just ripping my daughters out of their environment, moving away out of the town from their dad. My parents selling their cabin and selling everything to move down there. Sorry. Anyway, I really wish I would have. I really wish I would have joined the armed forces so I could have fought for my country. That is something I've always kept kind of to myself.
I never knew that.
So I'm very proud of our country, and it's like I wanted to continue that because of just my brother and my dad, and I think I would have been okay at it because I get really feisty, pissed off. I'll always regret ever being mean or smarting off to my parents. I also regret jumping off the table that was on the stage at the wedding reception and screwing my life up there. This caused a big impact on my body and my family, and now I live with the self-inflicted decision that I made. Now I feel like I am walking time bomb, not knowing the unknown with my history of blood clots. I regret not paying more attention in my high school learning years. Those are just some of my regrets.
You got through it good.
Yeah. That was the only one that was like, ugh.
You did good.
Thanks.
Let's switch a little bit. So what are your most prized possessions?
Duh. I'm looking at them.
Us
Number
three?
1 is my daughters. My grandchildren. Double bonus. My parents and remaining family. I'm also love all of my Western and cowboy stuff. My jewelry, yeah. All of my photos, whether they are in a photo book, like the good old days when we used to develop pictures, or if they are on my cell phone or camera card readers. My photography, property, all of my cowhides, definitely my cowboy boots. My quarters that I have saved up for years to try and fill a 10-gallon water jug so someday I could cash that in for a small pool for my legs. So my legs can get exercise and start feeling better. All of my letters and cards and special notes that all of you have wrote to me, and anybody like my mom, or artwork that my daughter Corbin has made for me up on my wall. It's something I'll always cherish, even though I gotta give it back to her when she gets her house. Damn it!
Which is in like 6 months.
I know.
If you do.
Yeah, those are just some of my prized possessions.
Awesome. Okay. How do you want to be remembered, and how do you want people to remember you?
Ooh. I guess I would like to be remembered by how giving I am.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have like this beautiful career to go to a job to make 100,000. I never will, because I didn't get educated. But I feel if I can ever help anybody or do anything special for them, I want to be remembered for that. Yeah, because I would rather sacrifice anything to make sure someone else is happy. I think I'd like to be, my love for cowboys and western things, rodeos, rustic decor, my design, and that I actually can pick up a tool belt and do it. And I think that's got passed on with you. My dad.
You just said the other day, I should have been a man.
Well, sometimes, yeah, it's like you just do it.
Or I could have been a man.
I think I try to be a really good listener, and I love helping give people advice or counsel in some way. Yeah.
Okay. What are you most proud of? What's your proudest moment?
I'm most proud of our flag and living in America. I would say probably our vets who have served for our country, and also like our cops and our firemen and the people that really risk their life for us. I'm most proud of that. And I'm obviously most proud of my daughters and how grateful I was to have such amazing, intelligent, caring, loving, and thoughtful girls as you are. All right, I'm not getting it choked up. I'm just proud of each and every one of them. I am just seeing my daughters walk down their aisle to marry their future husband, or their husband now. These tears of happiness, the proudness moment would be when all of my daughters carried my grandchildren and gave birth and became such wonderful moms. I would have to say being in the room or any part of being in the hospital to see and witness that is just speechless of words. I was very proud of one moment in my life, and that was when I was 16. As my dad always gave me driving lessons before to get my license, he'd always make me take that big truck, and I had to parallel park it with a coffee cup full of coffee on a hill. And if I spilled that coffee, I was either not driving right, I was pissed off at him at the time, but I'm really thankful because I took my driver's test and I got 100 on my test. So
That's awesome.
I was proud of it because I was a good driver.
Did you have to do a written test for that too? Or just
a written test and a driver's test. I think I got 85 on my written, but on my driver's I was like, yeah,
That's good. All right. What have you not done that you still hope to achieve?
I have a list of this. There are several things that I would still love to do. To name a few. Learn how to use the computer better. Excel. Organize all my photos from all the different computers that I have all on them. which is in the process now. Thank you. Open my own place of business and sell what I love to do and create it. Build a home that I can have my entire family over to enjoy holidays, that there is plenty of room for everyone to have a bed, their own room, and a big farm table to sit around and have a nice dinner. I need a pool for my legs. Now this sounds really corny that I'm saying these, but these are,
it's
this is
good.
what I want. Get all of my stuff that I am not keeping and sell it. Get rid of it and just organize my life and my storage. I feel it would take a lot of anxiety off of me. I just really tried to hold on to stuff that I thought, well, maybe one day the kids will need this or need that, and I think it's just time now. Travel to see some of the United States. I really want to go back to Wyoming, Jackson Hole, maybe go the East Coast. Get in a lot better physical condition and my legs, so I can enjoy doing cartwheels with my grandkids. Learn the guitar or piano and be able to have a nice voice to sing along with my daughters and record a song. Go on an annual trip with my daughters or girlfriends or family every single year or every other year. I would just really like to do something with us four. If it's a 40
Like
weekend.
Treasure Island when we went.
Yeah, just
few weeks
something that
ago.
we can always just set in stone. We're going to go, we're going to do this. And then eventually our children can go. Win in the lottery and share the winnings would be great.
Is that your last one?
Yeah.
Okay. What was or has been the biggest challenge of your life?
The circulation in my legs. It's always been a struggle. Test taking, very, very hard for me. I get worked up and can't comprehend very well. Grammar and spelling, not my forte. Complicated math, because I can count money back. I can do normal math. I just can't do the trig crap, and computer skills and trying to get mascara to go on the top of my eyelashes. That's really a struggle.
I don't know how to do that either.
I can't get mascara to go on the top.
That's a big challenge. What would you consider the biggest loss in your life? Did you write anything for that one?
In life, it would be the loss of a loved one.
Mm-hmm.
Your financial situation, health, water, electricity, electronics, landfills, fuel, nature, animals, factories, natural disasters, and our military.
What about currently, just for you, what's been the biggest loss?
Absolutely, hands down, my dad.
Which was 8 months ago from today.
Or
September
17th.
17th.
That's
Yeah.
been, devastating. But I'll be honest with you, I haven't hardly cried because
You still feel like
you
he's
cry,
there?
you better be hurting.
Yeah.
You know, he says don't cry because it happened, laugh because it did or something,
And happy tears, he says.
happy to. I really feel like I'm gonna see him though in Florida. I just feel like he's still living. It's not really hit me.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah.
Any other loss that you experienced when you were younger?
my dog, Tequila,
Mm-hmm.
my Doberman, and a miscarriage.
You don't have to talk about that, but
That's okay. I think it's healthy to talk about it. I was 4.5 months along, so halfway. And I was with my girlfriend and her mom. It was with Heidi and Judy and Tammy. We're in Wisconsin. The weekend before, I was at a Labor Day gathering with a bunch of friends that we did annually. And we lived in Florida. I had already had Kels, and we were just going to a Mexican restaurant / bar. It was just a Wisconsin place, and we're on the way, and I didn't feel good. And then I started cramping, and I looked at Heidi in the back seat. I'm like, I don't feel good. Got to trying to cover it up. Didn't think anything of it. And I hadn't told anybody yet. Except for your dad. Because I go, and I didn't really show like
That you were pregnant, you mean?
No, and then Heidi knew because I just told her, and she goes, "Oh my God, were you drinking that weekend?" I go, "No," because I knew, but I was pretending. Because a lot of times when I was drinking around friends, I would just put water in here, so nobody gives you a hard time. Because back then, oh, you're pregnant. And we just went in the bar, and I went to the bathroom, and I was in there for quite a while. And then Heidi came in and had a yellow sweatsuit on, and it just clots, and then the baby came out, and she came in the room. I was crying. It was devastating, and I could hear 2 guys out there playing pool saying, "Oh my God, some girl's in there." And I heard it was bothering me because I was crying and I was kind of screaming. It was new to me. Blood everywhere. Judy came in, and oh my God, and just came and grabbed it in my hands, and it was a little tiny itty bitty fingernails, and it was just tiny, and it was a little girl.
Did
I
it
kept it, and we had to put it up in my sweatsuit, and Judy kept saying, "Push it out, just push everything out." So I had to keep pushing as hard as I could, and just crap came out in a big clunk of something, and yeah.
Did you have to go to the
And
hospital?
then I almost passed out, and they brought me to the hospital.
How much did it affect you and Dad's relationship? Did it bring you closer together or farther apart, or?
Well, he was in Florida, and when Heidi had called him, he was like, "What?" I don't really remember that.
Okay. It's just kind of a blur.
Because back then you kind of, that is one regret I will say, I didn't have a closure.
Mm-hmm.
Because I mean, it was a baby.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care, and I do feel bad about that because you just didn't back then. You're like, oh my God.
You try to hide it almost.
Mm-hmm. And hide your feelings a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So.
Okay. Well, speaking of births, we'll go into how you and Dad met and birth of us and all that stuff. But we have to take a break because I have to go to the bathroom.
Okay. Sounds good.